Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do continue, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. Deku, he was trying to get away from being associated with 682. He made himself appear more human, and requested that the Foundation let him have a name instead of a designation. And this certainly was very intriguing. Deku, he's only doing this after the cross test between the Heart Destroyer reptile and himself. He wants to be different. Now, the Foundation are aware of his 1 year in containment, and how things have been, from turning from a feral animal into somebody making this request. Deku, he shows more human traits. He shows that he wants to be a part of the world. However, this is rather strange. The Foundation aren't too sure how to perceive Isuku. He's an anomaly wanting to fit in, something that wants to be a part of society, but very well may cannot. It's strange. And while Isuku was at Site 19, he had a chat with 343. And God? He talked to Isuku about a few things. He expressed about how things are for Isuku. He even told him. He erased a year of Izuku's memory because he did a lot of things he shouldn't have. Izuku may not be one of his children because he cannot perceive 682, but he can still see Izuku. Though he is, let's just say, not all there. Deku, he wants the best for him. He wants him to understand his abilities. He could be vital for the Foundation, somebody they will rely on heavily in the future. But he also needs to think for himself, not let the Foundation control his thoughts, but be aware. He is important. He needs to think for himself, learn things, make friends, and have people he cares about. That is a part of being human. And so far, one of the only people he does have on his side are Dr. Bright. There are more people out there. There's a lot of things out there he still does need to experience. He's only had his mind and had these thoughts for months. There's a lot to learn. Most of his life has been spent killing. Most of his life has been spent hunting, trying to please a crowd of people. But what about himself? What can he do to make himself feel better? Now, Deku, while this conversation was going on, he got to do a few things. He got to swim out in the ocean and hunt in the water for a few days. He also found this to be very relaxing. 343 also saw Izuku pull a shark right out of the ocean and call it food. And that certainly was interesting. He tried to talk to Izuku about a few other things. And currently Izuku is at Site 22 delivering a flower to the druid, 8004-1. He's trying to help the Foundation understand more about her language. Because if they can understand her language, they can read her history. And if they can read her history, they can find out how this forest suddenly manifested in Sweden. Now, with that being said, we do currently cut to that cell. Deku sitting down a potted plant as he does sit there. And the druid just doesn't want to stare at Izuku. Him holding it up and talking about it. Her walking over and bending down. Taking the plant and being a little bit more relaxed about it. Currently, Deku expressing. The Foundation wants to know if she's going to be a risk to containment. And the girl was somewhat to turn, staring at Deku for a second before expressing on her tongue that she will not. Her home has been devastated. Her home is gone. However, the green. The green will help her. They are vital to her people. She believes that the goddess may have abandoned them. However, she has not taken their gifts. She allowed them that. She's not fully forsaken them. So, if they are to remain, then that does mean that the green will help them prosper. And Deku stares at her a little confused. Her expressed to Izuku a few things. In the Foundation, they do watch the girl take the plant, walk over to it, address her, and set it down. Currently, her turning to him and expressing in her tongue that it helps not only her people mentally, but it does help them physically. Her people live long, and they are capable of many things. Their abilities have been said to be not normal, have been said to be mystical in nature. And Deku, he does somewhat understand. Him expressing about his own anomalous abilities. And the girl stares at him. And the Foundation are watching this interaction. They were concerned about her being a security risk because during the logs of 8004's exploration, she nearly killed a Foundation team. Bleh. I almost bit my tongue. She almost killed a Foundation team. She could have taken them all down in seconds. She was surrounded by plant life. So, the more around her, the more powerful she may be. They gave her a little bit of power. What happens if they feed that flame? Will she break containment? And there actually is after the conversation. Deku heads out of the cell and talks about a few things. He tries to tell the Foundation the girl wants more plants in the cell. She is willing to comply, and she has even said herself she will not break containment. Now, the scientists, they are clearly concerned about all this. However, with Izuku being the one to say this, it does give them a little bit of leeway. They can make requests, do a lot of things, and currently the Foundation, they do get a few things put together. They already have some stuff here for the Foundation garden. So, get some pots, get some dirt, and get some seeds. And they can do a bit. Now, Izuku, he does something to sit there. The girl still waiting in her cell, as Deku does come walking back in with a lot of stuff. Now, she doesn't stare at Izuku, and Deku, whenever he does come walking in, she comes running over, the door closing behind him. As she does look at some of the stuff, he does it as somewhat set down. I'm expressing about what the Foundation has given her. They are going to be careful about this. They gave her seeds, things to take care of, and the girl is happy about this. Though when she doesn't stare at the pots, she doesn't want to use them. Currently, Deku watching her rip open a container of seeds. Her bring her hand down and grabbing a handful of dirt before walking over to a wall. Her smashing her hand onto the wall and going to sit there for a minute. Before she's being able to express a few things in her own hushed whispers. Now, Deku does this on stare on. As right now, vines do begin to start growing from the spot covered by her hand. And they do begin to somewhat wrap into the wall. Them then going to spread out almost like a starfish, before at certain points becoming heavily warped and moving around the wall. In the Foundation, they are watching this. Currently somebody getting ready to activate the breach alarm. However, one of the scientists, they just don't stop her. Since the cell integrity has yet to go down, there is no hole in the wall. She's not attempting a containment breach. And Deku, he does not stare on. Currently watching the vines coat the walls as she does this on turn. Her backing away and then throwing her hands up, expressing a few things. And Deku, we're to watch. Currently the flowers going to bloom. and Izuku stares on, a little bit more alarmed. He doesn't know how to describe the event in front of him. Mystical? A marvel. It's pretty. And Deku stares on as the roses do go to bloom. Now, the girl does get a silent turn, walking back over and repeating the process for 3 other of the walls. However, where it does come to the one where the door is, she does not want to cover it, for fear that the vines may break or get caught in the door mechanism, and it will harm the green plants. Now, Deku, he does his own watch on, and the girl, whenever Deku does come walking over with some paper and pens, she just doesn't stare down at them confused. Before she would, she's going to walk back over to the container of dirt, her beginning to just write down a few things for Izuku in that. And Deku does his own stare on, currently her covering the walls in symbols. And this, it does look rather strange. And the Foundation, they are watching on. Deku beginning to learn. Now, this does go on for about 4 hours, and during the entire time, they're trying to monitor the plants in the cell and monitor what she's writing. And Izuku, he does continue to at least perceive everything else. The girl is happy. She's in a better mood. And Deku, he does walk out of that cell later with a full cipher. Currently, him writing it down onto paper and the Foundation taking screenshots from the monitors because of what they do have. This anomaly is rather strange, and they need to examine those walls because it doesn't look like dirt anymore. They're glowing symbols, glowing green. And this, it does heavily intrigue the Foundation. Currently, the girl walked to the center of her cell and going to sit down. And this, it does definitely make the Foundation a little bit more concerned. However, Izuku, he does try to express to the Foundation a few other things. Him basically telling them that the anomaly is not going to break containment because she feels more comfortable around the green. In fact, they may notice she does get a little bit more quote-unquote docile about this. And the girl goes to bring her hands down. Her sitting in her cell as the ground, it does begin to sprout a few things green from the dirt on the floor. And this, it does make her smile. And the Foundation, they do take notice of this. Currently her sitting there and going to curl up into a bit of a ball, staring at the green because it's the only thing familiar to her. Now, we do actually have Izuku. Izuku, after he does tell the Foundation about a few things, he does head back to his own cell. A lot of thoughts going through his own head. A lot of things. And right now the O5 Council, they have a lot they want to do. They have a lot of things that just seem like they're adding up. They have multiple Foundation sites. They have exclusionary sites. Places where reality anchors have been put to monitor different changes in reality. They've gotten reports back from them sometimes. They've seen and heard things. Even Site 0, the site the O5 are currently at, is an exclusionary site. Heavily guarded, heavily monitored, and aware as to any change in reality. But right now, the Foundation, they have to put something up to a vote. They want to map and know a few things about other anomalies. Understand how they respond to human perception. There have been multiple ideas for certain anomalies, ways to destroy them, contain them, but at the same time, it's a very dangerous idea, and the O5s are currently going back and forth on a lot. As far as they are aware, the human noosphere, it is a very, very strange, delicate, and complex thing. Every human being is connected to it. Every little ounce of perception. Deja vu. What exactly do you think that is? A sense of familiarity? As far as the Foundation have been able to map out, deja vu is where you experience an event at the same time as somebody else. However, you feel like it's already happened. Because you're experiencing it from the perception of somebody else who already has. It's a strange phenomenon. They still only have theories about much. But as far as they're aware, human perception is all connected. Human experience is all connected. Not only in itself, but with itself. But that is another problem. There are anomalies that exist in the noosphere. 096 is a good example. Look at his face, and he will kill you. Look at even a pixel. He'll find you, hunt you down. It doesn't have to register in your mind that you saw it. You just need to see it. He has to know it is in your brain. There are ideas. The Foundation had an attempt where they thought trying to destroy 682 by removing him from human perception would be an idea. But what about 096? 682 could adapt, could come back. As long as they can still perceive it, it isn't as dangerous as information they have. 096, however, that could be how they neutralize it. Remove it from the very idea of human perception. It will still exist. They won't know it exists. And they cannot perceive anything about it. That would neutralize it in photos, media, pictures, and solve that crisis. But that's the problem. They don't know what they're dealing with. They might accidentally cause an XK during an experiment, or mess up something else. And this, it does pose another question. The Foundation are aware that reality has been altered. It's been brought back. 3999. None of them have been able to perceive it. It was an event where one of their own scientists was connected to an anomaly, a reality bender of unknown magnitude, and nothing else existed. It was only stopped when that researcher took their own life. They're aware a lot of things have happened. At some point, there was a reality restructuring event, and from the Foundation's own initial data on the noosphere, it could have been sooner or later. It isn't connected to time, but it's all connected across vast multiverses. So, humans themselves are somewhat anomalous, but at the same time, they can't be. This on the Foundation 05 Council's mind, and they are also putting it up to a bit of a vote, attempting to neutralize an anomaly by removing it from the noosphere. However, they need to study it more, understand it more. There's even the idea to try and use it on reality benders. But the O5 Council, they have put that vote to the side. The Foundation has their own reality benders. And if they do this, how do they know they don't just remove the individual, not the entire ability from human perception? And if that does happen, that would truly make them, whatever they are, if they don't cease to exist, unperceivable to humans. People who could bend reality, and they wouldn't even know it. The Foundation would not only lose their own assets, they would make those assets turn on the Foundation. If they are not loyal, they would become dangerous. They would also have to deal with the fact that rogue reality benders, when the moment they manifest or pop up, disappear from human perception. And then what? They can look down and pull strings on their own very reality. The Foundation, they are trying to think things through. The O5s are going through every ounce of information they have. And there is one plan. one idea that they do need to vote on. One that will be very important. They've mapped part of the noosphere, but they need to map all of it. And currently the O5 Council put it up to a bit of a vote. Learn as much as possible they can at the moment. Put resources towards this project. And then what can they do? Then what will happen? And the O5s, they're going to agree to this. If they can understand how humans react to anomalies, how their species has survived every single attempt on the world from anomalies, then they can learn a lot more. Fact of the matter is, this is a very important task. They can neutralize many anomalies by removing them from the noosphere. But the risks are high. All of them are aware of that. Now, they do begin to put it up to a bit of a vote. And while that's currently happening, let us cut over to Isuku, where right now he sat there in his cell before he disappeared. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.